Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, I'm working on a cat, Love My Cat layout kit that was created by Sarah, our DT design member, and I'm so excited. If there's any more available in the shop, I'll try and make sure to leave a link down below. And here's everything that comes in it. So you get written instructions, you get these sprinkles, the page kits, like page pieces, an 8.5 by 11 piece of white, and then these two pattern papers, which is what you're going to cut up to put on top of your two base pages. So we have this with the meow and purr, they're so cute. And then you get these two mint sheets, and we're going to use the polka dotted side. And we're going to go ahead and start by the first instructions, which is to remove all of your branding strips. I use oh, I can't get it out. The mint colored one is kind of hard to line up. They're the what are they called? The color. They're through Simple Stories. I'm trying to think of what they're called, but anyway, it blends really well, so it's hard to see exactly where the line is. Most of the time, like with the pattern paper, you can see where the actual page starts and where the branding strip ends, and so it's easier to just line it up with your cutting edge and then trim it. Now on the white paper, this we're using for our mat, for our photo mats. And so I went into, it's kind of like in the middle of the instructions, but it does tell you how to cut up your mat pages. And the first thing you're going to do is cut the page in half so that you have two sheets of 4.25 by 11 paper. And then on the one sheet, you're going to cut it at, because it's 4.25, you're going to cut at 6.25. That'll be your 4x6 card photo mat. So, like I was saying, it's going to create a mat of 1/4 inch around your photo. And then the other page, you're going to line up at 3.25. So you'll have three pieces of paper that are 3.25 by 4.25. So that's like one side. And then the other piece from the 4.25 by 6.25, you're going to cut at 3.25. So you'll get 4x3 mats and one 4x6 mat. And then we're going to cut this one at 6x12, right? So with this one, we want to make sure that we cut it so that the words are going horizontal, because it's going to go in the middle of the page. So you just have to be mindful of where you're cutting. And what I love about the instructions is she says that because it's very easy to grab a piece of paper and just cut and not think, you know what I mean? So, but worst case scenario, even if you had cut it wrong, on the other side, there are these beautiful yellow paw prints. You could have just used that side, you know what I mean? But if you're trying to mimic, what was in the actual instructions, how she put it together, then yeah, you're going to want to make sure that you cut those words so that way they are readable, okay? And yeah, you just saw I was struggling. I had just filled up my bottle with glue and it was just fighting me. And what I decided to do, you can measure. If you're very about your stuff being straight, then measure and make sure you're going 3 inches down and then putting your paper. You can do that. Draw a line, line it up against the line, however you want to do it. I'm an eyeballer when it comes to this. It looks centered, so I'm good. But what I did was, because this is a 2-page, I lay my papers over top of each other, make sure they're lined up, and then on the right edge, try to make sure I'm lining up my pages, and then the rest of it that it's going to be even. So if I had the space to be able to show you on camera the 2 pages lined up, they would continue across. Okay, now on this one, we're going to cut the 3x4 cards, the top and the bottom one, apart and leave the two 4x6s together and set off to the side. Okay, because we're going to wind up fussy cutting one of the cat faces, but that's towards the end of putting it together. The next thing we're going to do is cut 4 1-inch strips. So you'll really only need one of the halves that you cut off, and you're just going to keep lining it up at 1 inch. And then using your trimmer, creating 4 strips of 1 inch by 12. And then these are going to be secured at the top and the bottom of the purr paper. I call it the purr paper because that's the word I see first. And what I like is it gives the illusion like we have a full sheet underneath and the purr paper is sitting on top. Now, if you wanted to take it even a step further, if you wanted to get like a thin black strip or a thin, even white strip of paper and put it right in the middle where the 2 papers connect, you could always do that. That would give you a defined area, you know, almost make it look like the purr paper is matted. There's all kinds of things you can do to try and, you know, step it up or punch it up. I also have these things from Love from Lizzie. They're called, oh my God, they're called strips, but they're thicker. And you could, if you have, they're not quite 12 inches. So yeah, you would have to try and deal with that. But any place that you wanted to use it where like maybe an edge was covered, you could always do that. I just suggest using your 12 by 12 paper and create a thin line. So then that way, you know, you don't have to worry about if it goes completely across. Okay, so now we're going to put one of the papers aside and we're going to start building our pages up, but we're also going to get ready to cut our photos and get them matted so that way we can really start getting everything together. Sorry about that. I was trying to get the paper so I can make sure I'm following and keeping you guys on track with the instructions, because the instructions really were so easy to follow. Let me grab, I'm trying to get to my glasses because, you know, sometimes it be like that. As I was reading everything, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not understanding something. What am I not understanding? But no, I was okay. Now I'm showing you the mats, the photo mats, and now I'm bringing them over. So these are my 3 cats. This one, the orange one, is Mango. And then the all black cat is Salem. And my black and white cat is Boo Boo. And when I saw this, I was like, 5 photos. I was like, I can make this layout. I don't always have 5 photos of something but these cats, I got tons of pictures. So I knew I was going to put the 2 kind of like sleeping photos together. And then on the other side, we'll put the other 3 photos of Salem and Boo Boo. But right now, we're just going to go ahead and mat everything. And sometimes, usually with my photos, like my 3x4s, I usually cut my 3x4s down, the photo. And then that way, you know, you could just have a regular mat that's 3x4 inches. And then by cutting the photo down, you create a mat that way as well. And you can do it either way, you know what I mean? Whichever way works best for you. Doing it this way, it takes up a little bit more room on the actual layout. So you don't have to worry about having tons of ephemera and stuff like that to try and like fill up spaces that seem very empty. So I really like how this layout turned together, even though the patterns seem like they're really busy. It's just really sweet and simple, you know. I should have cut an S though and put it like I love my cats. I don't know, it's still cute. Okay, so let's get Mango on his mat. And then I put some ATG tape on the paper. I thought I had messed it up, but it came up. But you know how it works, you know, in the middle of the video, you got to run out of tape. So that way, you know, you guys get to see me struggle putting the tape back on. The comedy routine in the midst of putting a layout together, right? All right. So let me fill this, spin, 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 and then put the little top on, and there we go. I've actually liked using my ATG again. I took a long break from it, but right now I'm out of refills for my favorite tape that I was using, so we're just gonna keep going. It looked like they had stopped selling it, the large hand tape that I was using, so we're gonna figure something out. Because though I do like using the ATG, it's just large and in charge. And I never know where to put it while I'm making a video. I'm like, eee. So now on here, I am going to just put the first photo down. And then I was like, well, what if, okay, listen, I already told you, I'm not one for like being crazy about making sure everything is even, but I just wanted to show you guys, you can line up your T-square, kind of, you know, put it in an area. I was going to move it over to create a larger space, but then I realized there wasn't a lot of space for the other photo, so I moved it back over. Thankfully, with the glue, I was able to pick it back up, and then using the T-square, the T-ruler, it allows me to have at least hopes that the bottom edges of the of the photos all line up and are even. Not so crooked, right? Not so crookedly put down. Okay. And since I had the two of Boo, I put Salem in the middle and then Boo on each side. And what's funny is those two photos of Boo and Salem, they're both on top of my media mat that we're putting together the layout on. So I just think that's too cute. All right. And I was just giving it a little bit of weight to make sure everything was laying down. And then I also was trying to make sure that with this sheet, I make sure I get it as close to being lined up as possible. Because like I said, the idea is that if you were to put them side by side, that you want it to look like it's a continuation from the other page. And I wanted to make sure that that meant these photos were in the same general vicinity up from the bottom as I did with the other ones. And I'm so glad that these cats matched this color scheme. That I didn't have to print them in black and white. It was perfect. I mean, Salem matches, Boo Boo definitely matches. And then this collection was made for Mango with all the orange and white. It was just perfect. I'm so glad I got it when it was in the sale. And then we're going to put down our last photo. Now, the fun part after you get the photos down to me is these little clusters that she created using, I want to say it's called page kits. Let me find it real quick. Yeah, these are page pieces. That's what they're called. And with these, what they do is they give you, it's basically built-in ephemera, and it's all really like right, how do I explain? It's based off of what they've done, you know, some template ideas and stuff like that. And then they show you, they have all the pieces on the back side. But I've never actually used the entire page pieces before, but this one was super cute. And everything just went so well together. And what's funny is Mango is actually on a cat tree, like the one that's in the page pieces. This one is pink, but the one that he's on is actually gray. And I freaking love that idea. You can't see the bottom part, but I know he's on top of a cat tree. All right, so we're going to start laying stuff out and then putting it together as we go. So I'm going to attach the love to the heart like Sarah did. In their photo, they had it above the my cat, so it was like the heart and then my cat and then the love up above it. I like the love on the heart. I'm glad that she decided to do it that way. I thought it's definitely cuter to me. All right. And then we're going to also add our paw prints. And she did suggest using foam squares. I'm using these also from my little scrapbook store. I love these. I actually need to get some more. They're really good and sticky. Yes, I still use my wet glue, but I do that to make sure I have time to move it if I need to, or pull it back up if I put it down wrong. All right. And some items you're going to glue right to the page itself. The paw prints, I think I put two of them up on foam, and then the other one I glued straight down. Yeah, the red one I just glued straight down. But if you wanted to, you could pop that one up too. All right. And then the next thing we're going to create is on the same page at the bottom. She calls it the catnip cluster. And that is the one that we did with the catnip bag, the bottle of milk, the bowl of food with the flower fish, and one of the little toys. And we're just going to start by kind of laying them out where we kind of want it to be. And with the kit, I know you see me, I always keep pulling out the paper. I love on the very front where it tells you everything that comes in the kit. We have the large photos of it. So if you're a person who doesn't really want to have to read everything, you can look at the photo and basically mimic everything that you're seeing. You know what I mean? I'm one of those, if you show me a picture and give me the same pieces, I can probably figure it out and get it really close to mimicking what I'm seeing in the photo. Do you know what I mean? So I love that you get not only the words, but you get the photo of it as well. So you can look back and forth and see, oh, that's what she's talking about. Oh, okay. The catnip. Oh, okay. It's the ephemera pieces. You know what I mean? It's just, I really like how they put it together. And if you wanted to, you could even pop all this up on foam. It's, everything is up to you. However high you want it to be as far as like using foam and stuff like that, go for it. You know what I mean? You don't have to do all of it or some of it flat. Pop it up if you want to pop it up. Give it some interest. That's what I love about these kits that you buy. They give it to you to put it together, but ultimately you can still make it your own. And I'm going to be making it my own because guess what T will be adding at the end of hers. Don't say anything. If you know it, just type it down below. If you get the answer. Sorry, there's no prize. If you get the answer right, we just get to chuckle together, okay? All right, so for the little word bubble up at the top that we're putting up, we're going to put some foam squares behind it to give it a little pop up. I'm just throwing those little squares away. All right, so the fur baby gets popped up, and then we put the two hearts. And I love that these two hearts were together. I wish they would do more like that. I like that. So everybody out there in the paper crafting world who creates these kits, a couple of hearts put together, that would be nice. Okay, so now for the next one, we're going to do, we already have the cat tree and everything, but I was looking to see what she was saying to put on foam and what not to. So I was just trying to see what she foamed up. Now, I decided to put the cat tree on foam. I think it does say to put it, but I really foamed it up, okay? So I don't want you to, if you don't want to do what I did, just, it's okay. Just glue it straight down. That's fine. But I like adding, like I cut it down if I don't have enough space. And then I took the one half that I still had, I cut it in half and put it right on the little circle. So that way it would support it all around. You can also use fun foam. I know people don't really talk about fun foam much anymore, but it's a good way to give a little bit of height, not too much, so you can get some dimension but not have it be like miles off your page and stuff. So definitely think about that. And then what I love by putting certain things on foam, it allows you to line up, put everything down the way you want it to go, and then add that piece. Do you know what I mean? And I also put foam underneath the little mouse, which is super cute. I mean, you could really have fun with this. You could add butterflies. Cats love butterflies. They like chasing them, you know? And then, of course, the mouse toy. You can just, all I'm saying is you could really have a lot of fun with this. There's still a little bit of the paper left, so you could get like a butterfly punch and put some butterflies around, or punch out hearts to go with the little bit of hearts that you used. You don't have to be limited. You know what I mean? That's the great part about being crafters, is our imagination can take us anywhere we want it to go, you know? So now we're at the end. This is the hard part for me. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. You guys know, if you've ever been watching my videos on this channel, fussy cutting is not my jam. I don't enjoy it. I feel like I fussy cut like a 3-year-old just learning how to use scissors. I don't tend to like how it looks. Thankfully, this video is sped up 3 times, because otherwise this would be agonizing, because I go so slow. Oh, because I want it to look perfect, and I'm trying not to like cut too much off. You know, I'm trying to make it look like the strings of the bow are really hanging down, but I'm also scared of cutting too much of the black, so then I leave some of the blue background and then I have to go back and trim it up. Like, seriously, I wish there was a better way. And I know that there's certain things you could use and do with like your brother scan and cut, but I don't have one of those. So fussy cutting is the name of the game for me, and it just, it stresses me out. It does. Like, I'm like, would the cat look weird with no whiskers? Maybe. But I mean, you know, it's a little cartoon drawing of a cat. I think people would buy it if I had cut them too crazily. But I saved them. I did all right. But I ain't gonna lie. It's one of those things that drive me crazy the most. You see it here. Look, I'm going back. I'm trimming still because I'm like, it don't look right. Okay, this is the second comment I want you to leave. Let me know, are you guys masters at fussy cutting? Some people really love it, and I wish I had that really love it for, you know, fussy cutting that other people have. I don't have it, but it's okay. I think I did okay. And we're just gonna pop this up as well. I'm not gonna worry about the little ears. They can just hang free. But I am going to put a lot in the center. And you're probably saying, T, you probably could have just took one big piece of foam. And yeah, I could have. But these are out, and this is what I'm using. So that's why I used as many as I did. And that way, it also mimics the height of everything else that I used. It's not going to be super high compared to the other foam tapes. All right. I love it. This is so cute. Okay, so now we're going to do all of the sprinkles. Now, you're probably going to say to yourself, does it matter what color you put where? Technically, no, it does not. But again, I wanted to follow what I saw in this kit. Okay, so I'm mimicking the color choices, which I love. I love doing 3 different sizes. I love the 3 different colors. And I also love that it all goes to the different, you know, clusters. And she put one on the fish eye and one in the center of the flower. Super cute. And then I'm going to do the 3 right here. And then, do I put the one on the cat here? I couldn't remember what I was doing there exactly. Yeah, I do. And it's a little bitty, like, pink one. It matches the pink in the cheeks so well. I mean, I know these gems go with this collection. But it's so cute. Okay. And then here, we're going to do the next 3. And I know you're probably like, T, why are you holding the poker tool and not using the poker tool? Well, I thought I was going to need it to get the pieces off the plastic. And then it was already in my hand. So it's like, well, just put it down. And then I kind of forgot that I was holding it at all, to be honest. And I always put a little bit of glue down when I put down my gems because I don't want anything to fall off in a couple of days, or taking it in and out of like a sleeve or something like that. And then, you come in and all of your gems are at the bottom. Like, I don't want that. So that's why I use glue. Okay, so I like that. And then I was like, you know what? There's nothing on this other side. And I still have some gems. So I was like, let's do this. Let's use this. Put a few more over here. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't hurt anything. And I've used up more of the gems. I still have 12 gems left. So if I have a collection that has these color schemes in it, I got some gems that'll match. And then now we're going to cover up our photos. And if you guessed earlier that we were going to be splattering, you are correct. So, of course, I'm hitting it with the fossilized amber. We got to get the gold. That's going to tie in with the yellow that's in the colors. I'm also going to use white. And then I've left on my my desk, the Mica Mist from Nuvo in the Pecan Peach. And let me tell you, this Pecan Peach, I kept putting it up, and then these collections have gotten more of that orangey peachy color, and now I just leave it on my desk because I'm like, I never know when I'm gonna need it. And I was trying to figure out what my third color was gonna be, and then I was like, you know what, this kind of would go with the orangey shide. Did you see that? I said shide. Side of, the color scheme. So let's do it. And so that's what we did. So we're using the peach. All right. And then once we get this one done up, we're going to go ahead and use the same ones and do the same color combo with the other sheet. There we go. And I don't know. I just love splatters. It just does something for me. And if you don't like splatters, then please, by all means, add your sprinkles and call it a day. It's still a beautiful layout with just those items in it. And I think in the little box there, I didn't do it at the time of the video, but I think I'm just going to put the 3 cats' names. I'm like, just so that, not that I would forget their names, but so that if anybody else who didn't know them saw, they would have the 3 names of the cats on at least one of the layout pages, And then now we're hitting it with the peach, I believe. Yep. And once we do that, that's really the page, y'all. It was super quick to put together. It was fun. I did get a little bit of stuff on my photo, but it's okay. Just clean it off as quickly as you can. And then I'm trying to hold it up. I really love how it turned out. All right, there you have it. And see, line up the pages, and it looks like it continues on both sides. And that's it. So, like I said, I'll leave links down below if I'm able to get to like the foam squares or even this collection. Now you're getting all the close-ups of everything. And again, thank you guys for joining me. This was super fun. If you like us playing with kits, you know, pre-made kits and stuff like that, I like to do them every once in a while. So that way, because, you know, a lot of times we buy these and then we never put them together. And it's like, why do we do that? This is supposed to make life simpler and you don't have to overthink, you know? So I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope you have a great weekend. Talk to you later.